This is We All Be, news-free Dixie for the 21st century. See how it works? Somewhere. Can you dig it?
And so just want you to know. Man, I looked at that smile on your face just now. The first time I ever wished I was a photographer to take that picture and let the world see that honesty and that integrity. And know some of the things I know how you drive all over the country to chase us down. Chase us down. Okay? We move so fast. I don't know if you're married. I don't know if you're a family. I don't know if you're a wife. Okay? But when we get on here, we bosom friends. Anytime I see you, I stop whatever I'm doing. Hey, my man, how are you? Hey. Hey, man, what, that's, I owe that to you. It's an obligation that you have. How old are you?
Oh, 36.
So you don't have the right to do what 36 people do. You don't have the right to go to the dance or go to the party. You don't have a right to take that trip to Europe when I might need that plane fare to fly somebody else to feed my people that love me. Mm-hmm. You feed them. Oh, it's one thing being hungry from food. Right. There's another thing being hungry for information.
That's right.
And that's you the feeder. You got to be the farmer. You got to grow the crop. Huh? You got to till the grain. And at nighttime, when you hear something that sounds like water, you got to go see if the crop's going to be flooded. That's your job, man.
Hey, everybody, this is Brother Ron. I am asking you all to do me a big favor. Think about supporting the We All Be movement. Your donation is tax deductible. The We All Be Group Incorporated is a recognized 501c3. And I'm just asking you all because I want to keep on bringing y'all quality work through the way that I know how to do best. And I'm going to sing my praises and toot my horn. A lot of y'all were not hip to Dick Gregory until Brother Ron brought him on the We All Be platform, until that jingle review we did. Y'all seen another side of Judge Joe Brown, and Judge Joe Brown's message has been amplified. But it was We All Be that brought Judge Joe Brown to y'all back in 2014. And so many others. And we covered so many things. So help us out so we can help you all. Peace. Guess who's back? Back again. Brother Ron. Tell a friend. Guess who's back and still black? Guess who's back and still black? It is I, Brother Ron. This is We All Be News Free Dixie for the 21st century. I thank y'all. Let me apologize for taking a 30-minute too long to get on, to tune out, to tune in, to get in where you fit in. Can you dig it? I actually was seeking wise counsel, somebody very wise, old soul, young, old soul called me to check in on me, see how I was doing. I really appreciate that. She gave me some good information, some wise counsel. Thank y'all for joining me late on this Wednesday night. This is your brother, Brother Ron, checking in. We all be in it to win it. I want to give a shout out to the chat room. Thank y'all for y'all patience. Love y'all madly. King Lemuel, where you at, brother Ron? I'm here. Bring it. What? We right here. Bring it. What? We right here. I'm right here, man. Thank you for the love, brother. Thank you so much. And brother George, Richard the third. Richard, George Richard. In honor of brother Ron from Huntsville, Alabama. Thank you, sir. Love you, madly. And last and certainly not least, I'm having some, man, what is wrong with my computer, man? Computer. Come on, computer. I got this thing blocking my ability to give my cousin, she's checking in, a very famous Blue Flame performer. She is fiery. She deals with the elements and she do it and do it well. Uh, very talented. I mean, if I could get past this, I got a thing that popped up on my thing. Y'all bear with me. I'm trying to. What is going on, people? Things are popping up on my laptop that's blocking me from getting to the chat. Okay. What up, cousin Dickie? Oh, wait a minute, man. It's brother, man. My cousin. I thought you was your sister, man. It's good to see you, bro. Man, I'm still here. Still, thank you for hanging out with us tonight, cousin. Man, I've been doing good. You know, it's 2023. You know, it's 3 years after 2020, and we still here. So if you still here, and you can still hear the words come out of my mouth, and you can participate in the chat, that means we both doing good, bro. It's good seeing you, bro. Yeah, man, it's been a minute. Yeah, it's been years, but we don't live that far away. Hey, man, you know how to get at me now. You know, my phone number is 901 299 4355, cuz that's 901 299 4355. Thank you. Cowboy, what's up? Amen. Indeed. Thank y'all. Okay, got the brothers in here, man. Y'all, yeah, got the brothers in here. Got the homies. Welcome to We All Be Nation, man. We're gonna talk a little bit. I know it's been a minute since I really been on here. A lot been going on. I've been doing a lot of traveling. Actually, like this same time last week, I was out on the East Coast, connecting with some folks. And some people call it vacation, but I call it a revelation. Been doing a lot of soul searching since last week about things about my life. I'm at a crossroads right now. I'm middle age. I'm 43, and I'm just trying to figure out which way I want to go with my life and with the We All Be platform, and with so many things going on. The world is really spinning out of control, but you can find order in chaos. You can find stability in confusion. And I'm a living example of that, you know. And I just want to talk about a little bit about me tonight and what I've been dealing with, and also about some world things. Like, I mean, I ain't gonna talk about everything tonight. There's so much going on in the world, but I want to just present some things for you all to consider, some food for thought, because I am the thought provocateur, or a thought provocateur. I'm here to provoke excuse me. I said thoughts or thoughts, you know, from your mind. I'm here to provoke you to think for yourself. And that's the key of We All Be. And I think that will make this platform so dangerous to the powers they think they be. Not the powers that be, but the powers they think they be. They think they run everything, but we all be in it to win it. So, like I talked about, it's been a lot of heavy censorship on the We All Be TV channel, as well as on different platforms and social media. And they try to claim that we promote violent criminal organizations and other things to demonize, not demonetize, but demonize our channel, my ability to support the channel through, you know, advertising, you know. So I'm depending on you all to come through for We All Be. If you think We All Be has done an outstanding or decent service for you all, us feeding you all the information you can use, because info is power and knowledge is the currency of the universe. Please consider supporting this channel and this work, this God work that I'm doing, Brother Ron,
on behalf of the people. I am appointed by Dick Gregory or anointed by Baba Dick Gregory as the feeder. Feed me, feed y'all. We feed y'all. Yeah. Yeah, definitely, man. I remember that, 20 years ago this August, cuz you went to my one man art show up there in St. Louis. One year after I graduated from Washington University in St. Louis. I had an art show at a prestigious gallery, and you went with us, me, my mom, my sister, and brother. We all went together to St. Louis to partake in my opening day, and it was phenomenal. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed you, because you also went to my one man art show, my last semester in college at the Urban League, the St. Louis Urban League. You drove up here with my mom's and them, and we had a great time. So I have some fun memories of us hanging out because of you supporting my art, and I really appreciate that, man. We love you madly. So you brought up some great memories. Yeah, you went to the art show in August of 2003. My one man art show. It was successful. I sold a lot of pieces, thousands of dollars. And right now, I'm in the zone trying to get back to that, passion of living life. And we're going to talk about that tonight. Now, I got some people out that way. It's interesting. Tennessee is an interesting place for black people anyway. Tennessee, Tennessee, Tennessee. Well, you mean stink, like, because they make the beer, like you can smell the beer. Now they got factories, whatever. St. Louis is one of my favorite places. It's very interesting. Like Memphis is way bigger as far as population than St. Louis. St. Louis is so spread out, but St. Louis is like small in population. It's not a big city like people may think. I think they got somewhere under 400,000 people in St. Louis proper. But it's one of my favorite places. Like I really enjoyed going there while I was in college or living there while I was in college. But let me start off. Like, what's in the title? The title of this show is what? What's the title of the show? Let me see. I'm trying to get out here before midnight, and I love you all. Title show is Vacation Revelation, Be Loved, and what else? Reclaiming the Rainbow, right? Reclaiming the Rainbow and other thoughts of a thought provocateur, which is yours truly. So let me talk about my vacation revelation, right? That I had. And I call it more of a revelation than the actual vacation. I mean, like I went and traveled. I took off time for work. I took off time for my regularly scheduled programming to go travel, to find out or seek out a certain truth about myself in relation to others, particular other people, specific other people. And truth doesn't play favorites. Truth is a friend to no one but the truth. The truth has no friends, really. Lies have many friends, but the truth stand alone. Truth has no friends. So, with that said, I went on my journey, my pilgrimage to find or seek out truth. Truth can be a hermit sometimes. Truth can be antisocial at times, but truth is going to be what truth is going to be. And that's what it is. You understand? And I don't mind being vulnerable with you all about my life and my journey, my struggles and my dreams. And I'm no different than you all out there who want some good things to happen for yourself in life. You should want good things. You are deserving of good and great things happening for you. And what I am realizing at my age is that nobody is responsible for your happiness but you. Nobody. You cannot outsource your happiness to other people. A lot of people are living in a state of misery. Now, I went to college in Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri. The state of misery. They always call is Missouri or Missouri. I call it the state of misery, because it was in St. Louis, Missouri, that Dred Scott was denied his rights as a human being. He was told by the U.S. Supreme Court Chief Justice Roger Taney that him nor his descendants have any rights that the white man is bound to respect by law. It's not a coincidence that Dred Scott remains, his mortal remains, is buried right outside of Ferguson, where we had the Mike Brown riots or whatever back in August of 2014. But nobody's responsible for your happiness but you. Nobody can give you love because you already have love. You should have access to the love in you. The key to giving love, or excuse me, the key to getting love, as we call it, is to be lovable. Give out love vibes, love signals. You manifest the world you want to see, not only by your actions, but also by your emotions, by your feelings. Nothing but feelings. You know, that's key. I know Baba Dick Gregory used to tell me and other people, and he told y'all, I'm sure you looked at video clips, that it's not about being in love, but it's about being lovable. Do you have the ability to be loved? Are you lovable? Not about being infatuated or being in lust. Not about falling in love, but can you be lovable? Because by you being lovable, that means you can receive what you put out. The love that you put out will come back to you some type of way. It's not about, trying to figure out what that way is. You just got to be open to receiving it. So I'm learning, when we live in a world, a lot of anxiety, where people are afraid to be vulnerable, that it's important to maintain some sense of vulnerability in order to still be in touch with your humanity. The social media and stuff is making people inhumane. You would think that social media will be bringing people closer together, but it's dividing us. It's keeping us further apart, and that's by design. Social media is the real COINTELPRO now. Like, I don't look at the Dear Mama docu-series about Tupac and Afeni Shakur, his mom. And you had the original Black Panther Party members talk about how they were surprised to learn about the government running interference on the Panthers, causing all type of strife and division within the Panther Party. And they couldn't understand why would the government be targeting them, because they're not committing any crimes. All they're doing is trying to feed kids before school with their breakfast programs. The Panthers started the free breakfast program for kids, right? The Panthers started having free health clinics and sickle cell testing for the people, but they never get the proper credit that they deserve. But the government went out their way to sow strife by putting agent provocateurs from law enforcement, because like even with the Panther 21, that case that I finally caught with other Panther Party members, they were set up by the NYPD with their boss service, the Bureau of Special Services. Matter of fact, Malcolm X's chief bodyguard, Gene Roberts, was an undercover police officer. And he was the one to try to give resuscitation to Malcolm while he was on the stage, which probably was not the right thing to do. But also, when the Panthers formed, he became a part of the New York chapter's security team. First, he was Malcolm X's chief bodyguard. Then he became part of the security detail team for the Black Panther Party of New York chapter in New York City. So, I mean, the games, but also the government, Afeni, she was brilliant. She didn't have a law degree. She wasn't, she didn't go to law school, but yet she represented herself and her comrades brilliantly in court while pregnant with her son, Tupac Amaru Shakur. The government also will create situations where their agents will infiltrate the party to have sexual relations with key party members, and also to help hook them on drugs. And that's really what happened to Afeni. One of her lovers was a gangster named Legs, right? Who's one of Nicky Barnes' lieutenants. And Tupac died for a while that was his biological father. But according to like his aunt's Glow, Legs could not have children. He was sterile or infertile or whatever. So he didn't never believe that Pac was his son. Like, I think Pac kind of referenced Legs in Dear Mama. He passed away and I didn't cry because my anger wouldn't let me feel for a stranger. The reason why he couldn't feel for a stranger because the stranger never thought that was his son. So why would he take time to try to be around and know Tupac when he never thought that was his son? So anyway, but Afeni was a victim of COINTELPRO. And her son was a victim of government interference. You understand? A lot of us don't understand how to do deep diving into things. But I don't want to get too far into that right now. But I do want to talk about my vacation revelation and not get too deep in the sauce, right? It's about relationships with myself and with other people and with the world and with the universe. Okay. Let me this is something a friend of mine did for me. She's an artist or artist in her own right. She did this. I keep this with me when I go out of town and stuff like that. Beautiful artwork. It says to the artist, right? She did this picture in honor of me. This was done, I think, back in 2007, 2006. But also, she wrote a letter on the back of this picture. This was like a Kwanzaa Christmas present for me. So I need to frame it one day with the letter, but I won't mention her name but I'll read what she wrote me. And I'm gonna tell you why it makes sense to me now more so than ever before. This is from December 10th, 2007. Sir Ron, this piece was always meant for you. Tonight I am at a loss for words. I got sleepy last Monday when I came to your gift. And today, well, I'm not sure. In all honesty, the only words I can think to tell you right now are open up. That's what's stuck in my mind as I think of you. You are so much more than a gatherer of facts and love of producing beauty, but few will ever know it. Or maybe I'm just wrong and you aren't as much of a jewel as I perceive. Wink, wink. I prefer not to believe that though. Lighten up and truly let loose. And I'm not talking about laughing and talking more loudly, which I do well. Which I do. I do laugh and talk loudly uh, on purpose and by nature. It said, what you desire will find you if you remember those things. It may take a while, and maybe there will be hurt, i.e., cleansing, breaking down of walls, but it'll be worth it. Don't be afraid to talk about yourself. You are truly wonderful. And this is where I end. I wish you the best and a beautiful holiday. Love and blessings. This is from December of 2007. It's a beautiful picture here that she did in my honor. And that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk a little bit about my revelation, about what I came to a conclusion to recently, and as far as dealing with people, uh, setting boundaries, and also breaking down walls and breaking down boundaries. And you gotta be mindful what you put out in the universe. Words create worlds. We talk about Tupac, right? Tupac, he sung about death around the corner, about dying at a young age, and he manifested that energy. Like he said to himself, he didn't have a record, a criminal record until he made a record, a music song, whatever, recorded something. You think about Biggie, his fellow Gemini, his first album was Ready to Die. The second album was called Life After Death, and it came out after he was killed in LA back in March of 97, right? It came out after he was killed. So he manifested his own, they both manifested their own version of reality where they didn't live long enough to enjoy the fruits of their labor. So, like when you ask the universe for things, be mindful of why you ask those things, and also be careful about what you ask for, and be specific. You know, I'm a single man. I don't have any secret family and nothing like that. But I would like to have a wife and children one day. I would love to have my own family, because I just realized something, that the most revolutionary thing that anybody can do as a human being is to create and raise a family. That's the most revolutionary thing you can actually do, is to create and raise a family. You know, to give the world a chance to help humanity be greater by creating exceptional people. And I'm 43, and I have no kids that I know of, to my knowledge. But I don't mind. I wouldn't mind helping some biological children. I wouldn't mind helping other people kids as well, because it takes a village, it takes a nation, it takes a movement. But at the same time, sometimes I get ahead of myself. Like sometimes if I meet a young lady or whatever lady, and I'm like, oh, okay, she's nice looking, da da da. Is she the one? And my thing is, it should be no pressure when you meet anyone. You should just, meet people where they at, and like, oh, you so and so, your name is Lauren, or your name is Katrina, or your name is Rachel, and my name is Ron. I go by Brother Ron. And so, what is that you like to do versus like, oh, I want to marry you. I want you to be my wife, and I want to have kids with you. If you approach somebody like that when you first meet them, then it should raise question about your sanity. So, my thing is, I believe that you will know who that person is if you ask the universe specifically what you want out of the person that's supposed to be your spouse, your husband, or your wife, or stuff like that. I think you would know. But I think the problem is too is that we have been told and programmed by society not to trust our intuition anymore. Our intuition has been dumbed down to almost nearly out of existence. Think about how ironic it is that our children now have smartphones that dumb them down. It's called a smartphone, but it doesn't make you smart. It makes you dumb. It dumbs you down. You understand what I'm saying? It makes you lazy intellectually, and curiosity lazy. And you think about that while I'm saying, because you got the ability to find out anything you want to on the phone. But most people don't use their phone as a research tool or their smartphone. They use it as a source of entertainment and distraction. Not anything that's going to be beneficial in terms of building an alternative, in terms of seeking out a solution that can actually not only solve problems, but elevate quality of living, give purpose to your life. Most people don't do that because your mind is not trained. Think about what I'm saying. Uh, what do you think that Malcolm X or Fred Hampton Sr. or Stokely Carmichael will be doing with social media right now? What would they be doing with Facebook and Instagram and YouTube? Huey P. Newton and all them. Probably the same thing y'all doing now because they've been programmed. Because like back in the day, if you was really doing real activist work and movement work, you got to go out there and meet the people where they at. You got to not only serve the people, you got to live among the people. You got to get to know the people you're trying to serve and trying to help. You just can't, right now it's like we got social media, but people can choose to be asocial or even antisocial. So that's the thing we find ourselves in. We got all these tools, but no agenda for ourselves. There is an agenda for the people, but it's not about unifying the people. It's about divide and conquer. But we, the people, don't have an agenda for ourselves. We're not ready for anything. I mean, we might be ready for some football or basketball, but we're not ready for any serious things, right? Um, Everything's a distraction. Think about this is Black Music Month. I love Charlie Parker, the great jazz genius, saxophonist from Kansas City, right? And I remember listening to one of his last interviews he did up in Boston back in the 50s, right before he died at the age of 34. It was a great saxophonist in his own right. I want to say Paul Desmond, I believe, who played Take Five with Dave Brubeck. Y'all know Take Five. He interviewed Charlie Parker, the great alto sax jazz genius. And he asked Charlie Parker, how did he become so great at saxophone playing? Were you born like this? And Charlie Parker ain't like, he sounded like a college professor, but he was a high school dropout. But Charlie Parker was so brilliant. He knew a little bit about everything. He was what they call a universal genius. He knew a little bit about everything. And he was saying, no, Paul. What I did was I played my saxophone for 11 to 15 hours a day for 3 to 4 years. It drove the neighbors mad. Basically, he played his saxophone for 11 to 15 hours a day for 3 to 4 years. That's how he became great. Because people don't understand what a genius is. There's a difference between being a genius and a prodigy. A prodigy is somebody who's a mockingbird. They can mimic. Like they could play like Mozart or whoever. They could paint like Picasso. But to be a genius is like what Thelonious Monk said, another one of my favorite jazz greats. It's just to be yourself. It's just to be who you really are and share that with the world. Your uniqueness, your unique perspective, the uniqueness of you. Genius don't always mean being very, very smart or even very, very brilliant. Genius just mean that you can make a unique contribution in your field or endeavor by being authentically you. There's a reason why they don't teach cursive anymore in school. There's a reason for that. Because they're trying to stifle creativity in individuals. Like you could be a creative individual and still play on the team. Think about jazz. I could talk about saxophone. Charlie Parker don't sound like Johnny Hodges. Johnny Hodges don't sound like Benny Carter. Coltrane don't sound like Sonny Rollins. Sonny Rollins don't sound like Albert Aller, but they all play the same instrument, a tenor saxophone. Coltrane, Sonny Rollins, and whoever else I mentioned, right? But they all sound different because their sound is their signature. Like Lester Young had a unique sound on saxophone that was different from Coleman Hawkins' sound. You understand? But they both played tenor. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do a quick, because it's Black Music Month, and it's kind of like I'm just freestyling, right? I don't got any notes in front of me, but there's a story I like to share about Lester Young replacing Coleman Hawkins, who's considered the father of tenor saxophone in jazz. He made the tenor saxophone a legitimate instrument in jazz, Coleman Hawkins, who is from Missouri, St. Joseph, Missouri. When he left Fletcher Henderson's band, Fletcher Henderson is the father of the modern jazz orchestra. That's Fletcher Henderson from Georgia. Georgia, Georgia. He's the father of modern jazz orchestra. So when Coleman Hawkins left the band, I think he went to Europe for a couple of years or several years. They brought in a replacement at tenor saxophone named Lester Young. The his bandmates in that orchestra was not impressed with Lester Young's sound. Even though he was like a tenor saxophone, like if you're boxing, the tenor saxophone is the heavyweight division in boxing, right? Tenor saxophone, they the heavyweights, right? You got the Joe Lewis's and the Jack Johnsons and the Muhammad Ali's and all that. So you had Coleman Hawkins had this big macho masculine sound on the saxophone, being replaced by a man that if you compare him to a boxer, as far as tenor saxophoners and heavyweight champions, he sounded like Mike Tyson. Yeah, you don't do the quiz, man. Just do the quiz, man. Meet the shrooms. Just do the quiz. It's pandemonium, man. Just pandemonium. I'm talking like he had a light, airy tone on tenor saxophone when guys and gals was used to listening to that honking that Coleman Hawkins would do, that machismo would come out his horn. Very aggressive, but he had a light, airy sound. He held the saxophone like this. but he's like the Mike Tyson of tenor saxophonist. I mean, he still could pack a punch, but it's the way he sound. But like Jimmy Lunsford said, "Tain't what you do, it's the way that you do it." So Fletcher Henderson's wife, who felt sorry about Lester Young catching all this grief from his bandmates, she would take him down to her basement and play Coleman Hawkins records, like his solos and stuff like that. And Lester Young was frustrated about it because Lester Young was brilliant and in his own right. He was his own man. So he would listen and then he would tell her, lady, that sounds fine, but it ain't me. That's not me. That's not my sound. It's fine for him. It sounds fine, but it's not me. And then finally, Fletcher Henderson had to let him go because he couldn't get no peace. Lester Young was keep on getting hazed and they're trying to, I ain't gonna say bully him, but they're trying to intimidate him into trying to play like Coleman Hawkins. And Lester stood his ground, and I'm glad he did. But Fletcher Henderson let him go, and he told the people in the band, "I gotta let him go because y'all won't give him no peace." I'm paraphrasing, but he's gonna outplay all y'all one day. He's gonna be so great, he's gonna outdo all y'all. And then Lester Young ended up hooking up with the Count Basie band, and the rest is history. Lester Young sound helped development of a young Charlie Parker. Listening to Lester Young and others like him in Kansas City, Lester Young was called Prez by Billie Holiday. He's my man. He's my man. She said he's the president of all the tenor saxophonists. That was her saxophonist of choice, Lester Young. So Lester Young stood his ground because he was willing to be himself against all odds. And that's how he made a unique contribution to American music history, because he refused to be anybody but himself. So I say all this to say, we all should be willing to sacrifice in order to be who we really are to ourselves and to the world. And I read that letter from my friend in the artwork, and she told me to open up. And I feel like I open up to you all a lot. Y'all know more things about me than I know about any of you all. And at the same time, I feel that my life, I'm here to teach through my experiences, and I'm willing to share all the triumphs and the tragedies and the ebbs and flows of what this thing called life is, as it relates to my narrative and perspective. So, like I said, I wouldn't mind having a family. I wouldn't. If it's in the cards, then I want to receive all I'm supposed to receive. And that's why I said you got to be lovable. In order to be lovable, you got to be willing to be yourself at all times. You got to be willing to love yourself at all times, even when you messed up. I saw a young man on the elevator, his first day at the job, at the utility company where I do cleaning at in the morning. And I asked him how he was doing. And he said, "Man, I'm so nervous. I'm so scared. This is my first day." He was honest. He was a young guy. First day at the job, big place, big job. And I was in the elevator with my mop bucket, and I told him, "Look, don't worry about making a mistake. Mistakes are just learning opportunities in disguise. Mistakes are just learning opportunities in disguise." And he said, "Sir, I don't know you, but you just made my day a whole lot better. Thank you so much for sharing that." Young black man. Maybe one day he might be running a utility company. I don't know who I was talking to. Because the guy, got these things. We was meant to be on that elevator at that time, sharing that space. And he shared something that was authentic with me. And I gave him an authentic response saying, mistakes are just learning opportunities in disguise. That's it. And it helped him. And I'm glad to be of service, because I don't know what the Most High has in store for the young man. But I'm glad that I was a positive experience for him on his journey, and I wish him well. Brother name Asa, I think, like the king in Africa. But anyway, yeah, Jay Dilla. I like Jay Dilla. He was unique. Yeah, Ben Webster was that boy. I mean, Ben Webster from Kansas, one of Kansas City's finest, man. Ben Webster used to date Billie Holiday. He had a heavy hand when it came to Billie, from my understanding. But Ben Webster, like that Jimmy Blanton and Ben Webster combination for Duke Ellington, that was an amazing band. You know, when Jimmy Blanton was a bass player, a jazz bassist, he used to play for the Tennessee State Collegians. He was from Chattanooga. But you know, Jimmy Blanton is to jazz bass what Jimi Hendrix is to rock guitar. I mean, guy was brilliant, and like Jimi Hendrix, he didn't stay around too long. I think that Jimmy Blanton died around the age of 22. I think either from pneumonia or tuberculosis out in California. But he changed jazz history by joining Duke Ellington, man. But the band he wanted to be a part of was the Jimmy Lunsford Orchestra. Jimmy Lunsford was the biggest band during that era back in the 30s and 40s for Black America. It was so popular. It was known as the Harlem Express, partly because of that popularity, but also because it gained its notoriety by broadcasting live on the radio from the Cotton Club after Duke Ellington and Cap Calloway had a residence there. Jimmy Lunsford took over, and the rest was history. But Jimmy Blanton wanted to join Jimmy Lunsford's band before Duke Ellington's, if you can believe that, because the way they write history, you would think that Jimmy Lunsford was not a big deal when, in fact, during his time, he was a bigger draw than Duke Ellington, Cap Calloway, Count Basie, and all that. They called him the king of swing or king of syncopation. He had a unique two-beat sound. But Jimmy Blanton, according to Gerald Wilson, who was a trumpet player and arranger for Jimmy Lunsford, he said that when they had a gig in St. Louis, that Jimmy Blanton approached them about joining Mr. Lunsford's orchestra, or he approached Jimmy Lunsford about joining his orchestra. Now, Jimmy Blanton was in St. Louis because he was playing for the great Fate Marable on the steamboats coming up and down the Mississippi River. Up the Lazy River, down the Lazy River. He was playing on the steamboat with Fate Marable, the same Fate Marable that helped train a young Louis Armstrong on those same steamboats coming out of St. Louis, going down to New Orleans, going up to Davenport, Iowa. So he won, but Jimmy Lunsford was loyal to the people that came with him from his high school days at Manassas. So he ended up keeping his bass player from his Manassas days, Mose Allen, over selecting Jimmy Blanton. And Jimmy Blanton settled for his second choice of Duke Ellington. If you could believe that Duke is second to anybody. But it's like what Glenn Miller said. He said Jimmy Lunsford has the best presentation of all bands. He said Duke is great, Count is remarkable, but Lunsford tops them both because he was the top draw. But because he died so young at 45 under questionable circumstances, he is not remembered like a Duke or Count who lived to be almost 80 years old each, respectively. They died in their late or mid 70s. So, man, what I'm talking about. But yeah, Jimmy Blanton. But let me see. Yeah, I love Charlie Parker with Strings. That's a great album, a brilliant album. That's interesting. He said Michael Jackson was supposed to have been on Tupac's song "A White Man's World" until they started beefing. Just listen to the hook. That would have been tight, though. I would like that. I bet there's a mix out there. Somebody made a song, a version of "White Man's World" with Michael Jackson vocals on it. And it's unfortunate they had to fall out. I didn't know about that, but I know that Michael Jackson did a song with Biggie that I like. How'd he do? What'd he do? All right. I'm just looking through the chats, man. I receive it, Sister Barbara. Thank you for tuning out to tune in and get in where you fit in. My cousin, you say you selling shoes? Okay. Southbrook Mall in Memphis. Okay, man. Congratulations to you, man. Hustle and flow there, man. Hustle and flow. But man, I just got into a tangent and I was talking y'all ear off. But yeah, but I read that. But yeah, I would love to have my own family and what like that. And I learned a very important lesson is to don't rush things too much. Let things take its natural course. But also, when you speaking things to the existence, be specific about what you want to manifest, because you can manifest just about anything and everything. Um, if you know the power that resides in you. And we all got the power, but we got to develop our intuition. We got to redevelop a trust with us. 'Cause a lot of us don't trust ourselves. We've been told that we can't trust ourselves, that we should always doubt ourselves and not believe in ourselves. And I'm not saying that somebody always tell you that vocally, but it's through subtle ways and nuances and stuff like that via the system will let you know that. Well, I find it interesting. I've been thinking about Young Dolph. Young Dolph had his museum thing up last month in Memphis, and they're trying to find a permanent home, I think, in Memphis for his museum of Young Dolph. Young Dolph was the rapper that got gunned down at the Makita's cookie shop back on November 17th, 2021 in Memphis, Tennessee, in his neighborhood, not that far from where he grew up at. And I was like telling somebody, I said, what's interesting is that that week he got killed, he visited the West Tennessee Cancer Clinic. This is a clinic. I think I got the name right. Y'all can look it up. Take a look. It's all online. The news, they interviewed him at the place. And this is the same organization or institution that treated some of his close loved ones for cancer, including his aunt, who was over his foundation, I believe, who died last year, before the end of last year. I met her at the street naming ceremony for Young Dolph. I think that was December of 2021. But I was thinking if Young Dolph didn't get gunned down at the cookie shop, he could have probably died from cancer due to environmental racism, because the Castalia is right by the old Army Defense Depot. And from my understanding, the grounds at the old Army Defense Depot has been contaminated with toxins. And it's been like that for decades. And so there are a lot of people within that vicinity, including my own people, that have gotten cancer and died from it. I think it's due to the exposure from the elements from the defense depot. And also what's crazy, right by the old Army Defense Depot or depot, whatever, is a Kellogg cereal processing plant. People will be striking there to keep their jobs, to keep their union jobs and benefits, stuff like that. But so are you willing to eat a bowl of cornflakes that could be possibly toxic because of the environment that the factory is in? I hardly see any stray animals in that vicinity of that old Army Defense Depot. Like I think about that. Have you ever seen a fly around a Twinkie? When I go to picnics, I don't always like eating outside, but the food is real when there's flies around the food, right? Or when ants is trying to get your food, it's real food. Versus I never seen an ant or fly trying to get at a Twinkie. Mother Nature knows, but why don't we know? But it's crazy, man. And I'm just on the tangents and stuff like that. But I realized after this past week, just going through some interesting things and had some come to Jesus or Yahweh moments last week. I'm glad to be here all the same. Is that you can only make you happy. Nobody, like I said earlier, nobody's responsible for your happiness or making you happy or making you love. You got to love yourself enough to be lovable, to exude that, to spread it out from you in the world so you can create a reflection. The world should be a reflection of your mood. You understand? The world is a stage. The world is a canvas. You can act the way you want to act in the world, and you get a response that's equal to your energy level, to your act. For every action, there's a reaction, right? You putting things out there with all energy, and people feed off each other. You're a performer, you're a musician or actor in a stage play. You feed off the audience If you're an athlete, you feed out the audience in the arena, in your hometown arena. So we feed out people because everybody's energy. And also, I mean, you attract certain things and people to you by the energy that you put out. So if you always attracting negative people to you and result in negative, reactions, then you got to ask yourself, and you the common denominator. What are you putting out? Are you aware? Are you mindful of the negativity that you are putting out? It's like with these rappers. Are they really mindful of the damage they are doing by spell casting? Words create worlds, right? I remember I read somewhere NBA YoungBoy. Uh, he took accountability for putting out music that created negative vibes in people, that wanted people to be perform criminal acts. He actually acknowledged that, hey, my music has played a part in messing up people's behavior. And NBA YoungBoy is still a young man with a whole bunch of kids, but even he had to acknowledge some of the damage he was doing with the music he chose to produce. I'm not saying, but you got to understand with black people, we got a very special connection vibes into universal soul God. So we're not just, I think I froze. We're not just acting like Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. They could live to be 80 some years old. They play gangsters and all types of degenerates and people like that, or so-called men of honor. But yet, they still around. And Al Pacino's still making babies in his 80s. And the thing about it is, why couldn't Tupac and Biggie live to be 80? Like a De Niro and a Al Pacino. Ain't nothing but a gangster party. Words create worlds, right? So that's the thing. Speak what you want into existence, not what you don't want. Instead of going to an anti-war rally, I'm gonna go to a pro-peace rally. Why go something anti when you go support something that you're for? You see how it works. Words create worlds, right? So, yeah. And I learned the importance of. I went through a little rough patch last week, but I'll be all right. I'm slowly recovering from the shock of what I experienced, but it's all good. It's all love, man. And I thank God to be able to receive the lesson. But one thing that helped me get through that week last week. Shout out to my sister Mo Cindy and to a beautiful pet. I hope they'll pop up. Yeah. Let me see. Oh yeah, they're me and Hattie B, man. Now that's a down ass bitch right there. I was looking for another down ass bitch, but I happened to find this cute 4-legged one with fur and a lot of love. And I want to read what I wrote about experience Hattie B. Uh, People say they get animals now for emotional support. I had no idea that I needed that one last week. I had no idea I needed some emotional support from a four-legged friend. And I just want to read what I wrote about her, my tribute to Hattie B. And this is We All Be News Free Dicks for 21st Century. I said, last week I was looking for a down ass biatch to hold a brother down. Little did I know there would be a 4-legged one named Hattie B that kept a brother company when I didn't need to be alone. She provided me with so much emotional support that I didn't realize I needed. Last week went from being a potential real life lifetime movie or an oxygen snapped TV show episode to ending up being a family friendly Disney Plus or Hallmark Channel movie. Look at God, man. Life is a sprint that comes at you fast as is and is sometimes over that quick. I am learning more than ever to be grateful for the little things, especially those that may sometimes come in furry packages with big, lovable eyes, man. What can I say? I am a sucker for love, man. That's yours truly. Shout out to Hattie B and my sister for being there for me when I needed, some support last week. Jesus, take the wheel. Yahweh, take the wheel. Jah, take the wheel. Whatever you want to call it. So I don't think I'm there to make a complete commitment to getting a pet, but Hattie B really saved me from torturing myself in terms of like thinking like did I do anything wrong? 'Cause I did things different about the situation. So I was able to get through that weekend because I had the love of a furry friend. But I don't think I'm committing to getting a dog or animal or pet full time to care for. And I guess had to be, or my sister's gonna send me an invoice. But shout out to them. I want to say that. And also, I got me an emotional support animal, sort of. This is Larry the Sloth. Larry the Sloth. Hey everybody, I'm Larry the Sloth. I move slow motion with it, slow. So this is my support mammal animal, Larry the Sloth for right now. I don't have a dog, but shout out to Larry. I'm Larry the Sloth. I'm Sloth man, Slothland. It's a Slothland. I know it's getting kind of late, but anyway, yeah, man, it was an amazing experience to be loved on by a dog. Dog loved me. Was moving and got me through, man. I think how to be. Thank you. God bless you. I'm still here. Thank you for missing me, sister. I know you are. I'm back and we ain't going nowhere. We right here. Okay. So you had me thinking about Booker T, and I rewatched your interview of the author about his passing and the history during his lifetime is the most unknown. And we was at our height at the time, and it's a reason why. Yeah, I mean, nobody really know what happened to Booker T. White. It's like a lot of weird stuff, but his last, I think, speaking engagement before he died was at Yale University, the home of Skull and Bones, secret society, right? And I think William Howard Taft, the former president and Supreme Court justice, was there as well, who was also a member of Skull and Bones. So yeah, Booker T. Washington was, I guess he was in the way because I don't know. He spoke out against the U.S. occupation of Haiti. That may have cost his life. Then also, he almost got lynched up in New York in Central Park for being alleged peeping Tom. They did an article about that in the New York Times. I want to say it's like 1911 or something like that. You can look it up online. Well, he's running for mayor of Memphis. We actually had Brother Judge on a couple weeks back on We All Be. But he's running for mayor of Memphis. He's looking good, just trying to get him in office. Vote for me, Judge Joe Brown, for mayor of Memphis, Tennessee in 2023. Check out, I mean, we had a video. We did a talk with him. He sponsored a segment with us, talk about his mayoral candidacy, candidate discussion. Oh, blessing to you and your family. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know animals, and like that dog was seeking me out, man. Like it made sure to come at the right times for me when I was going through my little thing, saying why me. Then I have to say why not me. But yeah, animals know. Like it's funny, not funny in a ha way, but the tsunami. People don't understand. If you don't know like about severe weather changes, you should pay attention to the behaviors of animals around you, how they behave. Because even when the tsunami hit back in 2004 over there, somewhere in Asia, I think I forgot where it hit, but they were saying that animals was walking or running towards high ground, like the animals were moving peacefully, like they wasn't at each other's throats. They was all moving in the same direction to high ground because they knew the tsunami was gonna come and wipe out everything in its path. And, it was gonna get it. So the animals actually were the first to move to higher ground because they sensed that there was a shift happening very soon. They would not be in their favor or best interest to stay where they were, unlike human beings. So you do a lot to feed our people information and help us understand our ancestors. There's people out here that cares for you. You're an inspiration to me, big homie. I'm glad to be of service. That's the whole point why I'm doing this. And I think I'm going to end it. 'Cause I don't want to carry on. It's just like I had to get back on here. 'Cause I ain't want y'all think that I forgot about you all. I appreciate the donations that are coming in and people calling and checking in. But let me take a break uh, and play, I guess, something, and I'll be right back. This is We All Be, News Free Dixie for the 21st century. This is how you could save We All Be, News Free Dixie for the 21st century. We're going to play that. And thank you all for rocking out to tune in to get in where you fit in by tuning out at first. Then you tune in to get in where you fit in. So we're going to play, let's see something. We all be news free Dixie for the 21st century.
Greetings, family. This is your help to help save We All Be. The feeder needs you all to feed We All Be. We All Be has been under attack due to heavy censorship tactics on social media. They're trying to shut us down, but we won't give up, give in, or give out without a fight, because we all be in it to win it. Please think about donating to the cause. You can try Venmo, our Cash App, our PayPal options. You can support us through Patreon, patreon.com/weallbe. You can buy Artivist Art, r2c2h2.com. You can wear Artivist Art. Go to our Teespring, r2c2h2's place. We all be in it to win it. Know that the best is yet to come. And thank you all for your continued support. We love you madly. And please also remember, family, if you want to keep We All Be, please join our mail list. You can email yours truly, Brother Ron, at weallbe@gmail.com. Once again, that's weallbe@gmail.com to keep up with what's going on with We All Be. Remember, information is power and knowledge is the currency of the universe. But please feed We All Be so that the feeder can keep on feeding the people. One love. Can you dig it? I sure can. Amplify blessings, amplify blessings, amplify blessings, and thank you. See how it works somewhere. And please remember and never forget that we love you madly.
Guess who's back? Back again. Brother Run. Tell a friend. All right, thank you all. That was like, we trying to raise the ante for We All Be. We working on some alternatives to YouTube and beyond. And I'm looking forward to rocking out the upcoming third quarter of the year starting July this weekend with you all on some new updates about what's going on with We All Be, what we're doing. Thank you all for the continued donations and blessings. We love you madly. Oh, y'all been donating on a consistent basis. We love you madly. Thank you so much. Stephen H., Sister Betty Jones. Shout out to Brother Mike Dennis out of Real Black for your donation. Sister Teresa Walker for your very generous donation, and other people as well. They have been donating very timely. Uh, so I appreciate that. It means a lot to me that you will spend your time and resources to helping us feed you all because the best is truly yet to come. So somebody said, "What's up, King BJ? Shout out to you." Somebody said they ain't see Judge O'Brown. I mean, a Judge be on Dana with the Data Show. Shout out to Dana. But King BJ did an interesting show with brother Judge Joe Brown, who's running for mayor of Memphis, Tennessee. Send Brown downtown and buy my barbecue sauce. Y'all like barbecue sauce? You like the judge? Well, buy some barbecue sauce and send Judge Joe Brown downtown. So he did a live with brother Judge. So check out King BJ channel. You know, King BJ just post your link to your YouTube channel in the chats, man. Get it popping. One love to you. And thank for your donation the other day as well, bro. Good evening, Brother John Graves. Thank you for tuning out to tune in to get in where you fit in. We aim to please here, Brother Roy. Thank you for being a returning customer and tune out to tune in to get in where you fit in. If someone said a dog would stop barking before there. I believe that animals act strange when there's be some type of like national or mother nature or nurture or natural disasters about to happen or is imminent. Animals tend to act rather odd or outside of their normal behavior. So always pay attention to the animals around you and how they moving to get a better idea of how the world or universe soul God moves. You know, let me see. What else I want to touch on? I think that's about it. I think I don't want to belabor the point. I could be on here for about 2 more hours, but I actually want to do some more research on the things I want to talk about, like that submersible submarine implosion. I got some thoughts I want to share, but I think I'll save it for another time, for another live. But I'll just do my due diligence to check in with you all because y'all been inquiring about my whereabouts, excuse me, and if I'm okay. I'm definitely okay. I thank you all for your support and donations as well too. Let's see. I'm just trying to think about what I want to. Is there anything that I need to talk about that's pressing? Oh, reclaiming the rainbow. Yeah, yeah. Let me talk about it. I'm gonna get out of here. I want to do a bigger show about that and really politicize the point. You know, June for a lot of people is Gay Pride or Pride Month. We celebrate the LGBTQI, whatever else they want to add, agenda, and it's practitioners. Which June to me will always be Black Music Month. I don't care because Black Music Month came before Pride Month, so it's Black Music Month, and I actually want to do a show. I think I'm gonna do it on Friday. I just like feel kind of groggy, but I want to get on here and touch bases with the family. I want to do a show that talk about the secret relationship between gays and blacks as it relates to music. I think that's a show that needs to be done, and it should be an interesting show. Like I'm not gonna talk on everything. I'm gonna pick out a few key examples that I want to talk about, and really challenge this idea that the black community is more homophobic than any other community out there, which is not true. It's not true at all. But anyway, um, I'm looking at the Tupac docu series right now on Hulu. One of the Hughes brothers, the one he beat up, him and his posse beat up, making this documentary. It's funny how Tupac enemies. If you want to have the last say on me, my enemies, yes. I don't think he's an enemy, but the Hughes brothers used to do a lot of Tupac's music videos back in the day. Let me see. What? I'm confused about something, but anyway. Something came up. I don't know. But anyway. But he did the Hughes brothers, this Hughes brother, I think Allen Hughes was his name. He did the docu-series called Dear Mama that's dedicated to Tupac's mom and understanding their complex relationship of mother and son. And actually it's very interesting how they choose to do certain things. Like No, Tupac biological father, I think he got shortchanged. I see why he's doing those great Art of Dialogue interviews. Shout out to Art of Dialogue and his people for doing some incredible work in order to preserve and amplify the legacy of Tupac Amaru Shakur. And it's still interesting how people misunderstand Tupac in 2022 or 2023. And I mean, we got to be better stewards of our stories, gatekeepers of our stories and stuff, and tell them in a different way. Like with Jimmy Lunsford, like I said earlier, you would think Jimmy Lunsford was barely popular during his heyday when he was the most popular black man in the whole country. He was bigger than Duke and Count and Cab, and name any black big band leader, and who the people would choose would be most likely Jimmy Lunsford, because he was known as the king of the battle of the bands. His band would constantly beat the best bands in the land. So they had a distinctive 2-beat sound called the Lunsford 2-beat. But anyway, I'm getting off track. I want to talk about Reclaim the Rainbow. You see, I'm interested in starting a Tupac, Fred Hampton, Free Us All party. Tupac, Fred Hampton, Free Us All political party. And it's the unfinished business of the movement from 60 years ago. And you know, it was Fred Hampton, not Jesse, ready for prime time Jesse, not Mr. Jesse Jackson Sr. It was Fred Hampton Sr., chairman of the Black Panther Party of the state of Illinois, who coined the phrase Rainbow Coalition. Now, when he was thinking about a Rainbow Coalition, he was thinking about politicizing and unifying all the different street gangs in Chicago, all the different ethnic street gangs. Like you had the Latin Kings, you had Black Peace Stone Nation, Jeff Fort. You had students of the Democratic Society, that's the white folks, Appalachians and whatever. So Fred Hampton was trying to bring everybody together to overthrow this oppressive system. So Fred Hampton said, I got the Rainbow Coalition. I got, the black gangs, the Latin gangs, the white gangs. We all in the same game, and we are unifying to overthrow this system so the people can live as people. So the rainbow is not about your sexual preference. It's about humanity, period. It's like when people say, I'm for LGBTQIA, whatever, and trans rights, and I'm for this. It shouldn't be about no civil rights or specific sexual preference rights. We should be focusing on human rights. It's about human rights, man. Human rights. That's what we need to be focusing on, not just, we're going to focus on this and that. No, because human rights encompass all of the rights that humanity should have and be respected for. So this is where I'm talking about. We got to take the rainbow back from the agenda folks, from the alphabet mafia, and put it back in the hands of the people. Because even the word gay did not mean what it means today. Back in the day, it meant happy. I'm so happy and gay. Not I'm gay, but I'm gay. Yay. Not gay, not gay, gay. Now how? No, I ain't going to go there. But anyway, no disrespect to that community, but the Rainbow Coalition was not about get your freak on. It was about free them all. Not get your freak on, but free them all. That's what the Rainbow Coalition, that's what the rainbow is about. It's about humanity. It's not about what you be doing in the bedroom or whatever, how you identify gender-wise or non-binary-wise. This is about freeing of the mind. See, what Fred Hampton was doing was almost like you trying to do Bacon's Rebellion. Look up Bacon's Rebellion. Look up Bacon's Rebellion, what they're about. It was like when it was kind of like American version of Spartacus almost, where you had people trying to come together to overthrow. Even Gabriel Prosser's rebellion, he got hanged in Richmond. I went to the grounds where they hanged him and tried to cover up into a parking lot or something like that. And after there, this is an African burial ground. Gabriel Prosser remains was buried where he was executed. So you got all these our black righteous ancestors buried where they put a parking lot at first. I think the people protested, so they bring it and made it into a park, whatever. But anyway, Tupac and Fred Hampton, like Tupac would talk about Fred Hampton in some of his speeches. Like his mom told him about Fred Hampton growing up. He was a hero, but they killed Fred Hampton at 21 and they killed Tupac at 25. And they both were talking about organizing the tribes. You know, Fred Hampton called gangs tribes, right? Tupac was talking about politicizing the lost tribe in Memphis. You know, he's talking about the lost tribe motherfuckers. We got to politicize now. We just can't have black people in our political party. We got to have all people that's about the cause. So Fred Hampton and Tupac was all about Rainbow Coalition building. So we as black people got to stand our ground and say enough is enough. We got to push back on this. Rainbow means something else when it means revolution and freedom. To be free, to be you. I understand why they like it, but we got to take it back because our people bled for the rainbow colors. You know, Fred Hampton lost his life for the Rainbow Coalition. Tupac lost his life trying to bring and unite the Rainbow Coalition. You know, so we got to have that talk because, you know, it's funny. I have not finished watching the Tupac docuseries. I think I'm on part 4. And people make such a big deal about Tupac at 17. You know, he's kind of effeminate. You know, he's kind of soft. He's 17-year-old, brilliant, sensitive soul. You cannot be a great artist unless you are in touch with your sensitive side. You got to be able to embrace not only your masculinity, but elements of the feminine side to be a great artist. That's why Tupac words, his songs are so vibrant and relevant today because of the passion that he used to communicate and then the thoughtfulness of his words, because he knew that words create worlds. Tupac had anthems. People, I mean, like, it's funny how a lot of these rappers want to lowbrow Tupac when it comes to his so-called MC skills. Tupac was a poet. Tupac was a revolutionary poet. Tupac, forget being a rapper, Tupac had songs that he wrote that could put him in the same category as a Curtis Mayfield, as a Marvin Gaye, as a Sam Cooke. He's in that same category in terms of his songwriting ability to me. Tupac wrote anthems. A lot of these cats just hate Pac, man. And Pac lost his life at 25. If people say Pac was lost, Pac committed himself to what they call revolutionary suicide, what Chairman over at Huey P. Newton would call revolutionary suicide. Read that book, Revolutionary Suicide. That's Huey P. Newton's autobiography, I believe. And it's worth a read. But Tupac did revolutionary suicide where he's willing to die young in order to free them all, to free us, to give us a chance. So it was like he had a black messiah thing going on. So when people said Tupac is crazy, no, Tupac knew exactly what he was trying to do. He just didn't think he had enough time to do it in, and he didn't. But he did what he's supposed to do because, like he said, to paraphrase him, he may not change the world, but he'll spark the mind that will change the world. And that's key. That's really key. Okay, like you said. Uncut Combo. I like where you going, bro. So like the meaning of queer was wired or awkward. Right, there you go. Or strange, right? Okay. I love Tupac today. He ain't lead me to no jail. I don't embrace thug life. The thug life he was talking about though was about the hell you give little infants fucks everybody. See, Tupac's so misunderstood, and y'all keep on talking about he was a plant. We all actors, man. We all agents. We all a part of somebody's agenda. A lot of us are just not conscious of the agendas that we're a part of. So yeah, it's a lot of Tupac that's misunderstanding and hate. I'm not saying that you hating, but Tupac to me was the real. Name a other rapper that shot 2 cops on purpose and was such a great marksman. He shot him in the ass, right? In the assets. He didn't kill him. He shot him in the assets. Then come to find out they stole guns from the damn evidence room. I guess they're gonna use it to plan on black people. So Tupac is just for that alone. You can say what you want to say. Name another rapper that did what Tupac did when he shot them off-duty cops that was harassing and threatening the life of a black man that he didn't even know. And name any other rapper that's been set upon. When Tupac died, the FBI was in Las Vegas. When Tupac got killed, the FBI was there. Law enforcement knew. When Biggie got killed, the FBI was there on the scene. It was already there. You know, the FBI is a fascinating organization. I'm not going to get into it right now, but take a look. It's all online. Don't you know that the first black FBI agent, look up Agent 800, was hired to neutralize Marcus Garvey, who was a black messiah of his time 100 years ago. He was the black messiah. Marcus Garvey, United Negro Improvement Association from Jamaica, man. But he was the black messiah, and they hired the first black FBI agent to neutralize Marcus Garvey. They had several black FBI agents infiltrate the United Negro Improvement Association. So history is a tool, is a weapon, it's a reminder of anything else that there's nothing new under the sun. So with the Tupac thing, y'all can miss me with all that. I mean, Tupac, he was a thespian. I didn't say lesbian, a thespian. He was an actor, a gifted communicator, very creative. I mean, we all characters, man. But Tupac played his role so well. So people tell me, well, that Tupac at 17, I wish we could be innocent and vulnerable all the time like that. But we can't. So Tupac hardened up, he toughened up, went through some trials and tribulation. But you gotta understand that the people that got Malcolm X was trying to get his mom. And now they were trying to get him. I mean, you cannot tell me that Tupac was not a victim of COINTELPRO. You can't tell me that. And be convincing in saying that. Yeah, I know you're talking about white dude from Britain or something. Like Biggie and Tupac, some of that name documentary. You know, he did one about Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love. Nick Broomfield, this is Nick Broomfield, that's his name. Yeah, I enjoyed that documentary. I actually showed that documentary to some young people at an art camp at the University of Memphis back in 2009. And they was all into it, man. It was very interesting watching him. Because of him, Nick Broomfield, doing that documentary, that a lot of other information started coming out. You know, he interviewed Puffy's former bodyguard, and now he's everywhere. Gene Deal. Gene Deal was interviewed by Nick Broomfield for that documentary. The documentary was over 20 years old. Anyway. Yes, the Who's Free Dicks for the 21st century. Yeah, I tell you, FBI first black agent was hired to, and some people think Jacob Hoover was black. He may have been. It's all right. I know some things and I forget. Some things get fuzzy. That's why it's good to do your own research. Just don't take my word for it. Take a look. It's all online, and still maybe in a book. It's funny how I see libraries now throwing away books. They perfectly fine books. These libraries just throw them away, the physical copies, into the garbage bin. Sometimes I go dumpster diving to get a book and read it. Information is power and knowledge is currency of the universe, but people tend to throw away these things that have a lot of knowledge and information in them into the garbage bins, which is crazy. But we got to reclaim the rainbow for the people in 2024. We got to start politicizing young people. Like Tupac said, if I could sell 5 million albums, that's 5 million voters I reach. That's one of the reasons why they took Tupac out of here. Tupac was trying to politicize the people. And y'all gotta talk about the stuff he did to hit him up, and all eyes on me. I could say he was negative towards the end, but he went through a very negative thing when they set him up to go to prison. So he's been through a lot in his short life. So it's not for me to judge. Like he said, only God could judge him now. What I'm saying is keep an open mind to all the things that were happening. He was just 25. People think that Tupac was 50 years old, the way they talk about, you know, he should have knew this and that. He's 25. What are you supposed to know? What was you thinking about and doing at 25? Put it in perspective. Same thing with John Morant. What was you doing at 23? What if they had social media around when Wilt Chamberlain was in his prime? Well, Wilt Chamberlain had social media. Well, Wilt Chamberlain had Instagram or TikTok, I mean. What if Magic Johnson, Showtime Lakers had social media back in the day? Or Michael Irvin and the Cowboys. I go back in the day. Be snowfall for real in Texas. Anyway, I think that's enough. Good point. If you look at the growth, when you look at the growth Mike Tyson experienced in his lifetime, I can't imagine the mind Pop would have now. Yeah, Pop would be in his 50s right now. He'd be definitely moving and thinking a different way. But I think if he lived, you think about, okay, you see Jay-Z and Puffy and Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, they all in their 50s now. And you see what Snoop done, you see what Jay-Z and Diddy. Can you imagine if Pac was able to live beyond 25 and he had plans for his political party to unite all the Lost Tribe motherfuckers? And they got it's a clip. I think Tupac, right before he died, just days before he died, Death Row attended some type of rally to stop some type of being implemented in the California state legislature, I believe. I could be wrong, but Tupac was at the rally, and Danny Boy was singing "Change Gonna Come" because Tupac loved to hear Danny Boy sing "A Change Is Gonna Come," and he had a faraway look in his eyes. But you know, the wheels in his head was turning. But it's a clip. I mean, it basically show you why they had to get rid of Tupac, because Tupac could engage young people to get them more involved civically in affairs that determine their future and their present. So Tupac knew that he was doing the unfinished work of Fred Hampton. Like he wanted to politicize the street gangs and get them organized in terms of not only just serving the people, but overturning this wicked system. But he didn't have enough time, and he knew that. So he said, I may not change the world, but I'll spark the mind that does. So this is where we at right now. Tupac kind of left a blueprint in his music for us to do our thing, but we got to be willing to do what we got to do. And a lot of us are not up to the task, not even mentally, spiritually, or physically. So we got to get our mind, body, and spirit right if we're going to do what we're going to do, because we are at the crossroads where you got to choose which way you want to go as a people as well as individuals. It's interesting out here, man. There's a lot of information. I think y'all in the chats for sure. Said Tupac would have been the second black president. Well, he said, although it seemed heaven sent, we ain't ready for a black president, right? And we wasn't ready. Tupac was prophetic because Obama, so-called first black president, wasn't B1. He wasn't black first. He was gay first. You know, he supported the rainbow flag initiative, but he wasn't black first. So Tupac was right. He'll be the first black president that we had. And then Dick Gregory would disagree with you on that one. He said it was several black presidents before, you know, da da da. So I mean, to each their own. Anyway, I think I'm gonna get out of here. Thank y'all. If y'all like the words from Brother Herb, please spread the word. We are BTV, YouTube, and some more options are coming soon. If you love to support what we're doing, we thank y'all for all the support we're getting and we'll get in the future. You can cash out your support, $ R2C2H2. You can Venmo your support at R2C2H2. You can Google Pay, PayPal, and Zelle your support. Use the email r2c2h2@gmail.com. That's r2c2h2@gmail.com. You can Apple Pay your support, 901 901-299-4355. That's 901-299-4355. That's Apple Cash, excuse me. Also, you could join our Patreon, patreon.com/weallbe. That's patreon.com/weallbe. Now, let me read a disclaimer, and we'll be on to the next. Thank y'all for being very patient with me. Had kind of a late start, but it was worth it. I hope you enjoyed it. I sincerely do hope y'all enjoy it. Well, we have put down here. Let me see. Yeah, get some rest. Okay. Disclaimer: the views expressed by host and guests on the We All Be TV platform are not the official views, opinions, beliefs, or perspectives of We All Be News or the We All Be Group Incorporated. We All Be News is an organization that thoroughly believes in supplementing the information narrative that is usually supplied by the corporate news entities with those viewpoints and expressions which may be marginalized or ignored for a plethora of reasons. We are about informing the general public on alternative perspectives as it relates to news and information, and letting the general public be the ultimate judge in deciding on how to use said information. Informed citizens are responsible citizens. Thank you for your support. Well, thank you all for your support, continued support, belief, and appreciation for the We All Be TV platform and for your friend, Brother Ron. I know it's been well earned, and I respect the trust of the people and know that the best is yet to come and that the marathon continues and the hope endures, right? So, let me see. I'm just wrapping up. Thank y'all in the chats for being so constructive. And I said constructive, right, Kyle? I was destructive. I'm like, self-destruction. We're heading for self-destruction. Yes, hit the like button. Yes, thank you, Roberto Romero. Yes, we got to reclaim the rainbow. We're going to talk more about that in shows coming up. I'm just a little bit tired right now. Peace. Thank you, man. And, we could agree to disagree. I thank you for your thought-provoking commentary and perspectives. So it's all love here. Our history is lost between the Southwest and Caribbean. The know who they've been watching, the family trees. Obama relates to all the other presidents. Now, all the presidents, for the most part, they all relate to each other. That's interesting, ain't it? Or that's what they tell us anyway. Yes, we are headed for self-construction. That's right, not self-destruction. Words create worlds. Thank you. Thank you, Brother Romero. Oh, Romeo. Did I say Romero? Damn, I gotta go to sleep. It's Romeo, right? I'm sorry. Brother Carter. This is the Carter. Go DJ. Okay, I gotta answer this. But do you think he would have been that big? I think he's been big in music, but I feel like his assassination and conspiracy around it made him so much bigger in life had he lived. I think Tupac would have been big. I think that he wouldn't have ran as president because he had all the criminal stuff, the felony, whatever. But I think he could have created a party or a movement or organization that he could have been a great influencer and kind of like a kingmaker or power broker in politics, but not necessarily hold office. He didn't need to hold office. Just he could have been a spokesperson, an advocate for certain initiatives for people. I think if we had people like Tupac around and Johnny Cochran, we would have been got our reparations. If we had people like Tupac and Johnny Cochran, we just lost. I think Randall Robinson was the one who was trying to get reparations. See, we used to have real, authentic Black leadership 60 years ago. This is all by design. Think about it. 60 years ago, you may not agree with their politics, but you had strong Black male, hetero male leadership in organizations. Like you had Whitney Young for the Urban League, you had Roy Wilkins for the NAACP, you had people like Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture, or H. Rap Brown, chairman of SNCC, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. You had let me see. You had the Nation of Islam, Malcolm, Elijah Muhammad, Dr. King, Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Where are those organizations today with strong Black men at the helm? Strong Black hetero male leadership. Do black dads matter? Do black men matter? Matter? Think about what I'm saying. You got a lot of males that want to wear dresses, but a lot of them, you don't got a lot of males that want to be black men that wear suits and ties and stuff like that, or that know how to handle their weapon of choice, defending their family, defending their honor and stuff like that. We don't have times have changed, man. Jim Brown and Harry Belafonte was from that era. Well, black men were not afraid to be men, that they stood on something and that they followed through on what they said they're gonna do. Jim Brown never made LeBron James type money. I think that helped in a lot of ways because it kept him connected to the community. He wasn't so isolated from the people that looked like him, that helped nurture him into becoming the iconic figure that he became in life as well as in death. I'm talking about Jim Brown. You know, um, and I'm rambling on, but okay, I'm about to start another show. The Roman said I used to get fights defending Pac. No need to fight. We all can agree to disagree, but I think these, like 50 Cent and some people are being very disingenuous when they say Pac would not have been an all-time great. Pac is the all-time great. He's my GOAT. I tell you, and I got Jay-Z number 2, and yeah, people got a problem with Jay-Z, so to each their own. To each their own. Thank you, Sister Teresa, for your support and for receiving the information. He said, y'all trying to see. Said Tupac could have never been president. He didn't have the education. Simply understand how the world operates as far as political affiliation is concerned. It was not about him being president. He wanted to start a party where they could select candidates that advocated, that represent the needs of the people. Our problem with, as a people, we don't politicians are the leaders. No, the people that put the politicians in their position are the leaders. Whoever sent them to DC or whatever, the state legislature, the people who are responsible for putting these politicians in their place, they the leaders. The politicians represent the interests of the entities that put them in their position of power. They do not wield power for themselves. They wield power for the interests of the people that put them in place. Tupac overstood. Think about people like Tupac was a voracious reader. His mom made sure that he read, everything. He was a voracious reader. He read the New York Times. He read all types of books and stuff. So Tupac was a self-educated, made person. So a lot of us don't understand how things work, and then what you do in that position. If you're a smart and secure person, you get somebody that's smarter than you and that knows the ins and out of the thing you're trying to represent or partake in to help you get acquainted and to help make things run a little bit more smoothly for you. But I don't believe Tupac was trying to run for president. I believe he wanted to start a political party where they can endorse who they want to endorse for their interests. It's kind of like, look at Israel. Israel constantly getting money from America because they got a strong lobby. So I think Tupac was not only trying to create a political party had he lived, but also a lobby group that could help black folks get what they need. Like with Ice Cube, black folks are strange. We mad at Ice Cube for meeting with Trump, but Biden won't meet with him. And this is for black people. Like when you do things for our people, a lot of times they get upset about it. And then when you leave the scene or you no longer around, they want to make you into a modern, a hero, and they want to make holidays. But when you was walking the earth, you was the most despised human being on the planet. So make it make sense. I looked it up. Y'all kind of keep up shit. That the grandson of the king of Haiti was the family that found out was the only black one on Titanic. And yeah, if Johnny was here, he would have had reparations and Tulsa case would be over. And they got rid of him too. That's what they do. Like my Jegna, the late great Emerson Abel Jr. once told me many times, nobody dies a natural death in show business, man. And I gotta get out of here. Y'all trying to keep me here. I love y'all, but y'all. said Pac was highly educated, and we need to groom our leader like everyone else does. The mob send kids to school for law, medical, banking, so they don't have to go. They don't have to go out in the community. Okay, yeah, yep. But Tupac was not allowed to mature and grow old, so he's forever young. And my problem with people comparing Tupac with like Tupac was just 25, right? They didn't even have social media back in the day. I had to go to the store and wait for like the latest Source magazine to get updates on hip hop. Now you got your smartphone making you dumb, and you can get updates on here. First thing people do when they wake up in the morning is what? Check their phones, right? That's mind control. Okay, thank y'all so much, man, for being out here, for tuning out to tune in to get in when you're feeling in with your friend, Brother Ron, R2C2H2, the artist. Know that the best is yet to come, and the marathon continues. One love, man. And this is how we're gonna go off. We're gonna have this mantra. So focus on that mantra, and may you have a great and wonderful rest of the weekend. Thank you all that has donated, has come in handy. And for those who will donate in the future and continue to donate, we love you madly. We're gonna do the thing here. We're getting out of here because love got me, God got me, and you can win because we all be in it to win it. Yes, once again, we all be in it to win it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. Receive the message. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. Thank you so much, y'all. We love you madly. Love got me. God got me. You can win. Love got me. God got me. You can win. Love got me. God got me. You can win. Love got me. God got me. You can win. Love got me. God got me. You can win. Love got me. God got me. You can win. Love got me. God got me. You can win. Win. Love got me. God got me. You can win. Love got me. God got me. You can win. You can win. Love got me. God got me. You can win.